bending. Like a lot of these guys are, I don't know what their deal is on the brakes, but it looks like they go to hit the brakes and they're either going in way too deep and the car's not slowing down, or they just have some brake issues.
Kyle Busch, once again, is the lucky dog. Kurt Busch is the race leader. We're under caution at Watkins Glen with 46 to go. Still working caution here at Watkins Glen. Cleanup continues.
Halfway.
Casey Kane on pit road. Alan, got some work down there, huh?
Yeah, we've got a little strategizing going on here, Bill. This is Kenny Francis, the team director for Casey Kane and Ray Evernham's team, calling Kane in. They're going to change tires here, make their chassis adjustments, fill the car with fuel. Then as soon as their pit window opens after the restart, they're going to come in, top the car off with fuel under the green and go, and then stay out the rest of the race. They have to do something. They've fallen back to 17th in line. This one of the bubble teams for making the championship. They're trying to find a way to steal some positions at the finish of this thing.
And Alan, as you know, they could certainly use a break. In the last 6 races, he is ranked 27th in performance among the drivers in the NASCAR Nextel Cup Series. Had a crushing finish to his race at Indianapolis 1 week ago. And you can see, after the last road course race, everybody was thinking, hey, Casey might contend for the championship. Next road course race, they're thinking, is he even going to make the chase? Right now, Casey Kane 11th in the championship standings, 45 points out of 10th.
But that was a great move by Kenny Francis. Matt?
Well, BP, not a good day like we touched on earlier for Greg Biffle. Now, they pulled the car back in the garage, and Biffle very calm on the radio in discussion with crew chief Doug Richard just about how severe the damage is to the front of the car, whether they got the radiator or they got some other chassis components. Right now, they're just trying to cut away the broken bits and pieces and try to get this car back out and earn whatever they can. But a tough blow for their championship's hope. This is a team that finished second last year in the championship chase, had huge hopes this year, hoping to improve on that and score another championship for Jack Roush. But he started today 12th in points. It's going to be another hit.
6 wins last season, had a backup car in today's race after the crash earlier in the weekend. 24th at Pocono, that knocked him out of the top 10. 33rd last week at Indianapolis, and certainly not what he needed today. Greg Biffle currently scored 41st here at the Glen.
Trying to scrub that debris off those tires so the first corner they go into, those tires will stick.
Listen to this conversation just a few moments ago from the 2 team on restarts.
Hey, if we pit under green like we did earlier, we can do something to trick that 20 where we get him on your outside through there and we can leave him out so we can get some separation. We about had him earlier, but he dove in there. Yeah, he's a smart fella. Yeah, 10-4, yeah, he caught right onto that deal. He dove right in.
Now, that wasn't about restarts. That was about trying to let fool him when you're coming on pit road. Everybody looks pretty tight. Here we go, Wally.
These guys in the back are doing it. Casey Mears, he's underneath. Ryan Newman. Looks like he's going to take that spot away.
So Mears now behind Gordon. Jeff Burton.
But trust me, these restarts will get a little bit more aggressive the further we get into the race.
And like you said, we're just halfway.
Yep.
Watch Ryan Newman.
He wants it back, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. He's going to try to outbrake that 42 car.
Oh, that's close.
And in front of that, Robbie Gordon was flying through that inner loop again.
He gets through there pretty good. About a lap or so after the restart, he seems like he can hang with Stewart, but then they start to pull away.
There's Robbie running third behind Stewart and Kurt Busch.
See if he can hang on to him a little bit here for a couple laps.
Jimmy Strader just made his second pit stop, but he still has 45 laps to go.
Yep.
I just don't think he can run that foam tank of fuel.
Well, Kurt Busch leads. Let's take you through the field. We'll start with the 2 car, and here's Alan.
And the leader, Kurt Busch, who has been well out in front for much of this race, Bill, only shuffled back by some pit stops and other people on differing pit schedules. Kurt talking about earlier this weekend with me, trying to balance that difficult thing between racing for the win and racing to get into the championship.
Nice solid finishes is all we need, and I think we've done that the last 7 out of 8 races, 12th being one of the times we were out of the top 10, and then Loudon we ended up getting spun and wrecked. You know, those things happen, no problem, but man, we're still hanging out right in 12th spot. But what's happening is the guys 7th through 10th are getting a little closer to us, even though we still are away from 10th. Those guys, if they have a problem, now there's not just one guy, there's 4 guys that are right there on the cusp.
Kurt using Matt Kenseth's charge into the chase last year as some inspiration. Feels like they've got some good cars for these next several races coming up. Tony Stewart feels Kurt Busch's car here at Watkins Glen today is good. Tony and his crew chief Greg Zipadelli talking under the last couple of cautions. Tony evaluating how to make his car better on the one final remaining pit stop coming up so he can maybe overtake that 2 for the win. Robbie Gordon doing much the same thing. He and his crew chief Greg Irwin talking recently about making adjustments on the final pit stop. Greg told him what he had in mind, and Robbie said, I need more to be able to win. Matt?
When Jeff Gordon began this season, they felt like they needed to improve their road course program and slipped a little bit. Gordon 9 times a winner on the road courses. He won back at the Infiniti Raceway. Right now, he runs 4th. This is the car is about 10% better, but it's horrible on the right-handers. They need to really work on that on the next stop, Marty.
Well, Matt, for Casey Mears in the 5th position, he said he has one problem on the racetrack. It's turn 5, the long sweeping right-hander. He said through there, it feels like the car just has no front grips. He turned off the rear fans for the car because the rear tires were just chattering too much. Right there is where Casey has that tight condition, Matt.
Ryan Newman would love to get up there and battle with his teammate Kurt Busch in the 2 and try to solidify an all-Penske weekend here at Watkins Glen. He says the car is much better through the S's. It's a little bit tight down in turn 2, but he can deal with it, Marty.
Matt, so far Sunday going much better for Denny Hamlin than Saturday did. In practice yesterday, the first practice, they lost the transmission. In the second practice, he had a little off-course excursion. Today, everything on the blacktop, and so far, the 11 car very, very fast, Alan.
And let's talk Jimmy Johnson, the championship leader who's running in the 8th position right now. He started up in 5th. Jimmy, coming into this weekend, thought that he needed to improve as a driver on a road course. He said it's kind of hard to understand how I can be outdriven by a couple of these guys, but I'm working hard to be better than them, or at least as good as they are here on a road course. Marty?
Alan, in this exact part of the race course, David Sremi is the man spotting for his normal ride. The 40 car today driven by Scott Pruitt. He's clearing him left, clearing him right. So far, Scott says the car at the beginning of the run just plows. No front grip at all. The car extremely tight, but the longer they go, the better that race car gets. Behind him, Kevin Harvick, the man tied for 4th in the championship standings. His car is tight both in right and left-handers. Bigger concern maybe is the water temperature. Right now, 235 for the 29 car. They're going to pull off a piece of tape on their next stop. Dave?
Brian Vickers pitted under green at lap 22. Car's still a little bit tight now, a little bit loose off the corners, but he restarted 13th. He's passed 2 cars since that time. The 07 of Clinton Boyer, they pitted under green under lap 20. The car was loose. It said it needed some grip, but they've been able to work through their problems today. Actually, it was running hot earlier from contact on lap 1. That condition has been corrected. Marty?
Dave, into the last caution, Jeff Burton came on the radio and said, man, we are chattering the front tires on this thing. And he also has a brake issue he's a little concerned about. Said he doesn't want to go full pedal with the brakes because when he does go full pedal, so that makes that car chatter even worse, and the rear wheels pop. Alan?
10 positions gained in the race so far for Jamie McMurray in the Roush 26. He started in 24th position. You see he's running in 14th. This team had 2 potential top 10 finishes slip away in the last 2 races, Indianapolis and Pocono, by problems on pit stops. They'll look to get this last one right in a few more laps. Dave?
Alan, I spoke with Matt Kenseth's crew chief this morning. That's Robbie Reiser, and he told me, I don't know a lot. I don't know. Well, I don't know. And it appears they do know what they're doing today. He started 30th. He's cut his deficit in half, currently running 15th. One car of Martin Truex Jr. is running right behind him, having a pretty good day. This is the same road course car they took to Sonoma. Martin's been keeping it on the black all day long.
And driver 8, Dale Earnhardt Jr., his best finish here in Nextel Cup, a 3rd in 2003, but he has a Busch win. Now, Jr. says the car has been going back and forth balance-wise. It's tight everywhere on new tires, but the car is loose, especially in that whatever turn that final turn is closest to you guys out on pit road. It's not good there.
That'd be 7, man.
7.
Matt fades away. Those are the top 17. Ronfello's 18th, and Joe Nemechek is running 19th. There are currently 40 cars